If you had to choose one word to describe worship, what would that be? Why is that so important? We're going to take a deep dive into that today with Shae. Don't go away. This is going to be really edifying.
I will shout, you are faithful forever. The victory's mine, 'cause the battle is yours.
Welcome back. Glad that you joined us today. I'm not all by myself. I have my co-pilot with me today. Shae's here, and we are going to dig into some scripture today. But there's some things that we'd really like for you to do. What is that, Shae?
Okay, well, first of all, welcome everyone. So happy that you're here. So happy that you've joined us. Please take this opportunity to like this, to share this with your friends. We're going to be diving into what is the heart of worship, right? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. I said
That's what you said. So we're going to be diving into that.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe you are a worship leader. Maybe you are a worshiper. I hope you are a worshiper of Yeshua. And we're just going to be breaking down what worship really means. And I don't know, I think that's something that everyone can really benefit from. And so if there's someone that pops in your heart, maybe right now, go ahead and share this with them, because maybe today there will be a word within this podcast that will really minister to someone or give them a breakthrough that they've been needing. So I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah. Well, why is it important? I was thinking about this on the drive down. This is a subject that is central to everyone, not just worship leaders, pastors, worship teams. You know, Shae, we have a worship culture that has developed since, the 70s, I guess, the revival of Christian worship, praise, contemporary music. And it's still being debated today. In fact, I was at a friend's house the other day, not to name drop, but you'll know him, Danny Gokey. I was sitting at his table, and it just popped into my heart. And he was busy cooking, actually.
He was?
He was cooking.
Usually Lysette's the one in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You let him in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's Peruvian, and he's cooking Peruvian food.
Really? She's trained him well.
She's trained him very well. And but he's a worshiper.
Yeah, he is.
So it just popped into my heart. I was sitting at the table, and I asked him, while he was stir frying or whatever he was doing at the stove, I said, Danny, if you had to choose one word to describe worship, what would that be? It was so engaging to him. He put his cooking utensils down.
Yeah.
He moved the food off of the heat, and he came and he sat down at the table and looked me face to face, and he said, that's not easy.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So give me your take. What word would you use? I'm going to hold on to that for a minute, because I want to dive into this and tell you what he said.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
One word. Because look, John chapter 4, Yeshua at the well with the Samaritan woman and all of that. We won't go into why and why not and all. But he says to her, the Father is seeking those who will worship in spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
And because her first question is, what is worship? You Jews say it has to be on that mount in Jerusalem. Our fathers, the Samaritans, half Jewish, half whatever, they say we have to worship on this mountain. But that word worship is still the same in the Greek and the Hebrew. So his answer to her is, the Father's still looking. Are you one of those?
Yeah.
So if I were to ask you, which I already did, one word, how would you describe worship? What is the Father looking for?
I would say, in one word, I would say connection. That was what came to me first. Okay. Because to me, worship without connection is just singing a song. It's just empty words. It's empty. So you can listen to the radio and be singing with all your heart, and you're singing lyrics. But when you're worshiping, you're connecting to heaven. You're connecting to the heart of God. So to me, if there is not that connection, then it's not true worship. And with that connection comes so many other things. But to me, the first point of worship is to connect us with the heart of God and to connect us with heaven.
Now, if you were listening to what you just said, which I was, the first word you used was connection, but then you used the word heart 4 times in your response.
Okay.
So for you, it sounds like connection means heart. I've heard it said, and probably heard it said from heaven, that worship is the connection, the space between your words and your heart.
Right.
Intention. But it's still hard to say in one word, isn't it? Danny's response was adoration. Adoration. Yours is connection. I won't tell you what mine is until we get to the end. Hold everybody.
I know. Come on. I'm on the edge of my seat now because I want to know what yours is.
Yeah. Well, here's where it comes from for me. And again, if you're a pastor, if you're a worship leader, this is not for you alone. This is for everyone who declares Yeshua HaMashiach Hu Adonai, or Jesus the Messiah. You are Lord. There's a connection between our hearts and our mouths that there were several times, Shae, in the scriptures where God rebukes Israel and he says, you honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me. There's a connection. There's that word again that you used. That's important. That's an element. But what does the Father consider to be worship? All right, let's go real quickly to Genesis chapter 22. This is a chapter that I have spent much of my believing life in. In fact, I just said it to Danny the other day. If you threw me in prison and gave me one chapter in the Bible that I could have, give me Genesis 22.
Really?
Yeah. In this, we find covenant, relationship, connection, the gospel, worship, sacrifice. There is so much here. All right, let's delve in just real quickly here in Genesis 22 and in verse 1, and I'm reading from the ESV. It says, after these things, you got to read back to find out what are these things. Lots of promises to Abraham for a land and a people, and that he and his family would be a blessing to every family on earth, and covenant and all those things. After these things, here's a word that every believer just loves. God tested. Say it with me. Tested. Ooh. We found in the book of James, which is really Jacob, that God doesn't tempt anyone. So a lot of people who don't understand the difference between tempt and test will argue about this. What do you mean God tested him? Even King David said, test me and try me and see if there be any wicked thing in me. Why? Because those wicked things will break down the connection between our heart and our lips and our worship. Good. So God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And Abraham says, hineni. We don't have time, but there's this chapter is packed. When I'm out and about in the highways and the byways, it takes me hours to go through this chapter in depth because there's just so much. That word hineni, here I am, is a covenant word that is also connected to worship. And we'll find out in just a minute why. Because you can't say, I'm a worshiper, and not say hineni. Those two are also connected. And so God says to him, take your son, your only son Isaac. Wait a minute. How many sons does Abraham have at this point?
I don't know.
He's got 2, right? Because first of all, he's got Ishmael, who was just
Ishmael and Isaac.
Abraham and his wife Sarah helping out God. And now he's got the son of promise. In fact, at this point, Abraham is about 120 years old. We don't know for sure. And Isaac is like 18 to 20 years old. He is in the strength of his youth. He drives the fastest, best-looking camel on the planet.
Yeah.
He buys all of his clothes where you and your husband buy their clothes, the good stuff. He's got servants. He's this guy is like
set.
And every day his mom and dad are telling him, look, you are special. You are a miracle. Do you know how old we were when God promised you? And he's heard it. But here God says, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, go to the land of Moriah and, offer him there as a burnt offering. Now, I might say, I don't know about you, but I do know about you. Can you imagine one day God speaking to you and saying,
no,
take Shiloh,
Yeah.
your firstborn son,
Yeah.
the son that you love, take him to drop him off. Don't take his life, but drop him off. I'm separating him from you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no.
What would your answer be?
I don't know. I want to say my answer would be yes, Lord, but I don't know if I don't know.
Well,
Honestly, I don't know.
that's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. Well,
It really would test my faith and
so a worshiper, let me say this. A worshiper, as long as they knew this is the voice of God,
Yeah.
they would say, hineni. Yes, sir. This is something that after we had our sons challenged me all the time. You married my second-born son, who, after he was born, immediately took control. He was the head of the household, which you've experienced now.
Which I'm grateful for. I love that he's the head of the household. I don't want to be.
His dad did a great
Yeah.
job. But we have two sons as well, Nathan and Joel. And after our sons were born, this scripture continually challenged me. How would you respond? Because when they were born, this is like the most precious possession. Can I say possession? Although a real worshiper knows these are not ours. They are on loan from heaven and given to us by God.
Yeah.
But to train and to raise up to be hineni worshiper kind of people.
Yeah.
And like you, I would always come to, I don't know how I'd respond. But this is what separates Abraham as a worshiper from the rest of the pack. And so we need to read on here because my time is slipping away. So let's move down to verse 4. And here's Abraham and his son Isaac. And remember, God calls him his only son. Why? Because this is the one that God had promised.
Yeah.
Abraham and his wife tried to help out God, and they got an Ishmael. And we won't go into that. He was still blessed. God made him to be a prince over many tribes and nations and whatnot. But as far as the covenant is concerned, God calls him your only son. So on the fourth day, in the fourth verse, on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. What place? This is the place that God said, get your son, saddle your donkeys. He took 2 servants with him, saddled the donkeys, and God didn't even tell him where he's going, just like before, pack it up, head this direction, and I'll show you where. And eventually they wind up at a very special mountain, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So it takes 3 days. Can you imagine? Abraham knows what's going on. Here's Isaac, the son of promise that he had waited 20 years for, or 10 years after the promise. So he's been waiting for this son for 30 years.
Wow.
And he is on the road to build an altar and plunge a knife into his son. Yikes.
Crazy.
You better know you heard.
Yeah, you better know you heard the voice of the Lord for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what would we think of someone who was...
It's hard to like equate it to today. It really is.
It is.
It's hard.
Yeah. But then his own son, Yeshua, our Messiah, the same mountain, carried the wood on his back up the mountain like Isaac. That's all in this chapter. And we don't have time for all the details.
Wow, it's so good though.
So verse 5, Abraham said to his young men, he had 2 servants with him, you guys stay here. I'm editing. You guys stay here with the donkey. Why? Because these guys served Isaac and they would have given their lives for Isaac. So imagine they're up on the mountain and the 4 of them are putting the stones together. They're building the altar. Isaac has got some of the stuff. His dad's got the knife. Isaac's got the wood. And the servants hear Isaac say to Abraham, hey, we got an altar here. Mm-hmm. We got the wood. We got a knife, but we ain't got no lamb. And Abraham says to his son, you're the offering.
Yeah.
What would the 2 servants do? Hey.
Oh my gosh.
Old man Abraham has lost it.
Yep.
For some reason, he thinks he's hearing the voice of God again, but this is insane. They probably would have held him down, taken the knife.
Yeah, been like, no, that's not happening.
Ain't happening today.
Yeah.
Not this day, not any other day. And down the mountain they go, and there's Abraham with an empty altar.
Yeah.
Stay here with the donkey, and the boy and I are going to go over there. Listen to this. We will worship, esh tachaveh, which is bow down with your face to the ground, make the connection between heaven and earth. And he says, and then we're going to come back to you. Okay. So Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac, his son. The crossovers between Isaac and Yeshua are so amazing. So I can't help it. We have to just go to one. I'm looking at the clock.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
You got time.
So this is Mount Moriah.
Yeah.
This is where God led Abraham. Mount Moriah, Mount Zion, Jerusalem, the city of the great king.
Yeah.
And up the mountain they go. And symbolically, if you will, Abraham puts the wood for the offering on Isaac's back. 2,000 years later, the only son of God puts the wood on his back and he carries it up this mountain to become an offering, a worship, a sacrifice. And so here we are. The altar is built. The wood is on it. Isaac, now the next thing, okay, well, let's go. Let's go to verse 7, because here's a critical question. Isaac said to his father, they're walking up the hill now. Yeah. He's got the wood on his back and all the rest. And Isaac said to his father, my father, Abba. And Abraham says, hineni, my son. Oh, gosh. This chapter,
there's so much. On. There's so much.
Come on. Okay, we have an extra minute. Hineni, we have it in English as here I am.
Yeah.
But what do you hear when you hear hineni?
I mean, I do just hear, here I am, Lord, send me.
Which means what? Here I am.
Like, can I help you? Like, yes, I'm, it's that position of like, I'm ready to receive your orders, whatever you want. It's like, here I am. What do you want? What do you want to do with me? What do you want?
Oh, okay. All right. Now you're getting to the heart of it. Because it's not only,
it's not just like, it's
exactly.
Like, here I am. I'm attentive to you. What are you going, like, it's expecting something.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also putting yourself in a position to offer something.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Because this is a covenantal response. What do I mean by that? In a covenant, it's a two-way exchange. When you make a covenant in the ancient world, gifts were exchanged. You had a covenant meal together, which reminds me of Passover, or in our case, Shabbat in your home. Don't forget Shabbat in your home every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Free plug. And a book coming to help you with your devotions that we have just dropped with our publisher. It's coming, but it's not coming until the 1st of next year. But get ready. It's going to so bless you. And so there's this connection again of heart and mouth. You're saying with your lips your desire, but there's a motivation in your heart. It's a covenantal thing. Part of making covenant, you exchange gifts. And there was also blood that was a part of it, which meant you don't break this unless one of you die.
Yeah.
That's what marriage covenant is also supposed to be symbolic of. So when you're saying, here I am, or hineni, in a covenantal expression like this, you're saying everything that I have is available to you. Wow. You need my car. You need my donkey. You need my son for an offering.
Yeah.
Here's
everything. Yeah.
This is something that most of the world, number one, doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And number two, would think this is insane to go this far. But again, this is what marriage covenant is supposed to be. In fact, you may or may not know that, but we wear these pieces of jewelry in these days on our ring finger. In ancient times, they didn't wear jewelry. They took ashes from the covenant marriage dinner that they shared to secure the covenant, took some of the ashes, made a slit on their finger.
Really?
Uh-huh.
No
and
way.
then rubbed the ashes into it, so you had a scar that would never heal.
Whoa.
Indicating jewelry comes off and on. And not to try and make someone feel condemned, but in the ancient world, you couldn't get rid of that scar. It was there forever. You have made a covenant, and it's until death do we part. All right. So we were back there at verse 7. I told you this is my chapter, and it's
so good.
Packed. And I hope you're being blessed by this. Verse 7, Isaac said to his father, my father, Abba Shali. And Abraham says, hineni, my son. He said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham prophesies, and he says, quote, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. And they went on together. So, as you know, prophecy has lots of different layers, levels, lots of different ways to connect. So, Abraham is confident because he said it early in the chapter to the two servants, we're going to go up and do what God told us to do. I'm editing.
Yeah.
And we're coming back to you. We, not me. He knew that he was going up to the mountain with his son to sacrifice him there as an offering. Somehow, Abraham is confident that he is coming back down the mountain with his son. So he prophesies to his servants. He prophesies here to his sons. God's going to provide a lamb. Now, probably he has in his heart, son, surprise, surprise, you're the lamb. But what he doesn't know is that 2,000 years later, God's going to provide on that same mountain a lamb that will save the world.
Yeah.
And so the both of them went on together. Now, I have to condense this for the sake of time. And so they build the altar, put the wood on top.
Yeah.
And then, well, let's just read it. Verse 9. I'm out of time.
It's okay.
They came to the place which God had told Abraham, built the altar there, and laid the wood in order, bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar. So somewhere between verse 8 and verse 9, Isaac understands, realizes, and submits to the fact
that's crazy.
that he is the offering.
He's the guy.
Which means he is a willing sacrifice. He is a wonderful forerunner to another willing sacrifice who will walk that mountain with the wood. We've been over that a couple of times. But this chapter is so thick. Somehow between verse 8 and verse 9, Isaac realized, now, did God tell him? When Abraham spoke to him and said, the Lord will provide a lamb, did Isaac hear the voice of God saying, son, you're the sacrifice. I need you up on the altar. Remember, there's about 100 years difference between Abraham and Isaac. If Isaac is not willing, there's no way good old Father Abraham is going to chase his son down on these mountains and drag him up and tie him up and put him. It's not going to happen. So Isaac somehow hears the voice of God. There's, I want to go there, but I can't. Raise up a child in the way they should go, and they will not depart. Somehow, Abraham has taught his son how to hear the voice of God so clearly that he's willing to get up on the altar. That's amazing.
That's insane.
When we're doing Shabbat in your home, and I hear your sons doing the blessings over the cup and over the challah, and we're lighting the candles, and they're sitting there so quietly.
Right. Never, ever has that been an adjective used to describe Shabbat at my house. But but I love it.
They're being trained up in the things of the Lord. And so hopefully as they grow and they hear the voice of God, yes, sir.
Yep. They
yes,
will know.
Sir.
That's so good.
Becoming worshipers. So when they came to the place which God had told them, Abraham built the altar and laid his son Isaac on the altar on top of the wood. Verse 10. Then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. Verse 11. Here it is. Here to me is the definition of worship. But the angel of the Lord, Malach Adonai. This is not a seraph. It's not a cherub. This is
the angel of the Lord.
The angel of the Lord. I take this to be Yeshua himself. Calls to him from heaven and says, Avraham. And Abraham recognizes that voice. It's the same one that said, pack up your tent, your family, head out, and I'll tell you where to go. It's the same voice that earlier this chapter said, pack up your donkey, take a couple servants, but get Isaac and go to a place that I'll show you. That same voice. Now, Abraham has his knife in hand raised to plunge into the body of his son.
Crazy.
And what does Abraham say? Hineni. There's no panic here. There's no, I don't know how it sounded on that mountain, obviously. I wasn't there. But then this voice says, do not lay a hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know. Say that with me. Now I know that you truly, here's the word, yireh, which means fear. The fear of the Lord is the door to worship. The fear of the Lord. And another definition of that word yireh is to worship. And so when someone says to me, how do you see worship? I get asked it all the time. And I'll tell them in a word, and you would think I'm going to say fear. Mm-hmm. In a word, I say obedience. Obedience in this case, to obey the voice of God was much better than a sacrifice.
Yeah. That's really good. Obedience. So that's your word.
That's my word. God was not interested in a dead body on the wood. He was interested to see, is Abraham obedient until death? Because if you are, I can trust you with great wealth. I can trust you like the Apostle Paul in the depths of a prison being beaten for my name. I can trust you with anything, a worshiper in spirit and in truth. Wow. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And that's the one thing that true worship will invite into your life, into the life of your sanctuary, of your church, the fear of the Lord. I believe a great outpouring of the fear of the Lord is at hand. That's what I'm after.
Awesome.
I need that so much. Ooh. Well, I have got to bring this to a close today. Thanks so much for joining us. And Shae, thank you for putting it out there. Right.
The whole time you're telling the story, I'm trying to figure out what the word is, what your word is. So that's really good. Obedience. And I would just charge people listening to take this and ask yourself today, what is the Lord asking you to be obedient with? You know, I think sometimes people say, what do I have to give the Lord? Or how can I worship the Lord in my everyday life? And that's a very practical application of worship, is what is God asking of me today? What can I be obedient to him today in? And so guys, I charge you with that. Ask yourself that question and see what the Lord says, see how your day goes, and let us know. Let us know in the comments your testimonies about that, or if this ministered to you. Actually, let us know what your initial word was too. Yeah. I'm curious to see for those of you listening, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments what your word was and why. Because I think everyone, people may have different answers. It's not like there's only one answer, but I do think obedience, that is really the heart of it. And that's so good. That
hineni word.
The hineni.
Connection. Yeah. Heart. As Danny said, adoration.
Love it.
It's all a part of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the worshiper in spirit and in truth is an obedient son or daughter, because it's better than a sacrifice. Thanks for joining us today. As usual, we're going to send you out with this little video of Wilbur Ministries. This is some of the things that we are up to these days. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you again on Today with Paul Wilbur.
Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I say, rejoice.
It began over 40 years ago with a call from the Lord to change the way the world worships.
Let's stand and give the Lord some praise tonight. Hallelujah!
Now, as Yeshua prophesied, we find ourselves in the midst of wars and rumors of wars. And as a result, God has enlisted us to raise up an army to change the way the world worships.
In these days, the Lord has revealed to us a Hebrew word that has become our new mandate, avodah. It means devotion in worship, work, and service.
Here at Wilbur Ministries, we put that commission into action. How do we do that?
We carry the presence of God to the nations, preaching and singing the word of the Lord. From mountain villages in Latin America to stadiums in the Middle East and everywhere in between.
But it's so much more than just the music.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Shabbat in your home.
It's about confronting the darkness in the media with our weekly broadcasts of Shabbat in Your Home and the Paul Wilbur and Friends podcasts.
Get into also the ministry elements.
It's about bringing life to a forgotten African Jewish tribe by drilling freshwater wells.
And it's about bringing much needed aid to the IDF and those on the front lines fighting for the survival of Israel.
As you see on your TV screens and across social media, it is not only a spiritual war, but a physical one. It has never been more important to be doers of the word than it is today.
When you partner with Wilbur Ministries, you are not only helping send the music out to the nations, but you are joining hands with the covenant people of God and those in need across the globe.
The time to act is now.
For Zion's sake, we will not keep silent.
Partner with us. Help us to raise up an army to change the way the world worships.
And to fulfill the words of Yeshua when he said, the Father was seeking those who would worship in spirit and in truth. Avodah.
Become a part of our World Partner family today. Go to wilburministries.com or scan the QR code on your screen.